Gishu incident. On October 28, 2023, primary school pupils from Arap Moi Primary School in Kenya arrived at a man-made dam in Uasin Gishu County for a school outing. It was supposed to be an educational trip in preparation for an examination. The children were young and excited. The dam was a popular local spot, perfect for small boat rides and nature lessons. The teachers had organized canoe trips across the water. The children gathered at the water's edge. They wore their school uniforms. Some carried lunches their parents had packed. They talked excitedly about getting in the boats. Most had never been in a canoe before. The boats were small and made with simple wooden craft and rafts. They climbed in groups, too many in each boat. The teachers tried organizing them, but the children were eager. They pushed off from shore. The boats sat low in the water, overloaded, but they didn't notice. They were laughing, splashing water at each other. As they moved slowly across the dam, one of the boats started tipping. The children shifted their weight trying to balance, but there were too many bodies on one side. The boat tilted further, and water started pouring over the edge. The children screamed. Some tried jumping to the other side, but that made it worse. At 5 p.m., the boat flipped completely. They all fell into the water. Most couldn't swim. They tried grabbing onto the overturned boat, but their hands kept slipping. Nobody was wearing life jackets. Teachers on shore started shouting. Other boats tried turning back, but they were too far away. The pupils in the water were sinking fast. Small arms reaching up, faces disappearing under the surface. The water wasn't deep, but panic made them forget to stand. They inhaled water, choked and drowned. Teachers ran into the water trying to reach them, but by the time they got there, several children had already sunk. The surface was eerily calm, just ripples where they had been moments before. Rescuers pulled the children from the water. Some were still conscious, coughing up water. Others were limp. The pupils were wrapped in blankets and sat crying, watching their friends being carried away. In the end, 5 pupils died. They had drowned in a school outing that should have been fun. Lake Timiskaming incident. On June 11, 1978, 27 students from St. John's School in Toronto set out on a canoeing expedition. The boys were between 12 and 13 years old. It was part of the school's mandatory outdoor education program, a character-building wilderness trip on Lake Timiskaming, about 217 miles north of Ottawa. 4 teachers and staff went with them for supervision. They'd done this trip before. It was tradition. The boys paddled in groups. Multiple canoes spread across the lake. The water was calm at first. The boys were in good spirits. Some sang songs. Others competed to see who could paddle fastest. They were miles from shore when the weather suddenly changed. Dark clouds appeared on the horizon. The calm water turned choppy. Teachers recognized the danger. They signaled the canoes to head for shore, but they were too far out. Before they could reach land, the storm hit. The boys paddled desperately, but the waves were too strong. In a moment, one canoe capsized, then another. The boys were thrown into the cold water. They tried swimming, but the waves kept pushing them under. Life jackets kept them afloat, but the water temperature was 39.2 degrees Fahrenheit. An average adult won't last beyond 40 minutes in it. Teachers in other canoes tried reaching the boys in the water, but the storm was too violent. Their own canoes were taking on water. Some started capsizing too. The storm lasted for hours. By the time it passed, rescue boats found survivors clinging to overturned canoes, shivering violently in shock. Others floated face down in life jackets. Their bodies had given up fighting the cold. 13 people died, 12 boys and 1 teacher. They drowned and died from hypothermia on a school trip that was supposed to build character. The lake took them one by one while their classmates watched helplessly. If you'd like